On the night of May 4th, 2025 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, one of the most anticipated boxing matches of the year took place. Saul Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican boxing superstar, stepped into the ring against Cuba's William Scull to reclaim the title of undisputed super middleweight champion. The stakes were sky high, both in terms of boxing history and cold hard cash. Let's talk a little about the boxers themselves and so on. Full name: Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan. Date of birth: July 18, 1990. Place of birth: Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Nickname: Canelo, Spanish for cinnamon due to his red hair. Early years and career start: Saul began boxing at the age of 13, inspired by his older brothers. He made his professional debut at just 15 years old in 2005. He quickly stood out in Mexico for his skills and maturity in the ring despite his youth. Rise to global fame: in 2011, he became the WBC world champion at light middleweight after defeating Matthew Hatton. In 2013, he suffered his first career loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr., a pivotal learning moment. Canelo rebounded strongly, defeating top fighters and refining his technique and conditioning. Undisputed champion between 2020 and 2021, Canelo unified all four major belts, the WBA, WBC, WBO, IBF, at super middleweight. He became the first Latin American boxer in history to become undisputed champion in that division. Lost to Bivol. In May 2022, Canelo moved up to light heavyweight but lost a decision to undefeated Dmitry Bivol, his second career defeat. Despite the setback, he remained active and expressed interest in a rematch. Berlanga fight and moved to Saudi Arabia. In September 2024, Canelo defeated Edgar Berlanga, choosing him over a mandatory IBF title defense. Vacating the IBF belt cost him his undisputed status, but he is determined to reclaim it. He is now preparing to face Cuban fighter William Scull, his first fight outside the US or Mexico, taking place in Saudi Arabia. Looking ahead: Crawford Showdown. A mega fight against Terence Crawford, one of the pound-for-pound best, is scheduled for September 2025 too. Now about his opponent whom he met on the night of May 3rd to 4th. Full name: William Scull. Date of birth: April 13th, 1993. Place of birth: Cuba nationality, Cuban weight class, super middleweight, 168 pounds. Stance: orthodox. Known for his technical precision and movement, he gained valuable experience fighting in international tournaments, though he eventually relocated and turned professional outside of Cuba. Professional career: Scull turned professional in 2016 and has remained undefeated since. He built his early record fighting mostly in Argentina and Germany, gradually gaining recognition for his skillful tactical style. Over time, he earned a reputation as a slick, elusive fighter with a classic Cuban defensive approach. Rise to title contention. In 2022, Scull began to break into the global boxing scene and became a mandatory challenger in the IBF super middleweight rankings. By 2024, he was officially named the IBF mandatory challenger for Canelo Alvarez, who ultimately vacated the title rather than face him at that time. As a result, Scull was elevated to IBF world champion status without a fight, a controversial but valid procedural move under IBF rules. Big opportunity: Canelo fight. Canelo Alvarez later chose to face Scull in 2025 in Saudi Arabia as part of his mission to regain undisputed status. This bout marks Scull's highest profile opportunity to prove himself on the global stage against one of the sport's biggest stars. Scull enters the fight as a technical underdog, but with the respect of many boxing analysts due to his slick style and disciplined ring IQ. Record, as of early 2025, fights: 22 wins, 22 wins by KO, 9 losses, 0. And now to how the fight went and the fighter's conclusions. Listen carefully. You will be surprised at what you hear at the end. Canelo became the undisputed super middleweight world champion back in 2021. but he recently lost the IBF title without a fight to William Scull after refusing to make a mandatory defense. Instead, he chose to face the WBA mandatory challenger, Edgar Berlanga. On September 14, 2024, he confidently defeated Berlanga by decision, knocking him down once during the bout. He now holds 62 wins, 39 by knockout in 66 fights, with 2 draws and 2 losses. One of those losses, as a reminder, came against Dimitri Bivol, whom Canelo is still interested in rematching. However, talks about organizing a second fight between Alvarez and Bivol have not progressed beyond discussions and intentions. For now, Canelo has decided to focus on regaining his undisputed championship status, and for the first time, he will fight outside the US or Mexico, this time in Saudi Arabia, where Bivol and Artur Beterbiev have both recently fought. Still, the biggest fight of 2025 for Canelo is expected to be against another megastar, Terence Crawford, scheduled for September. Nonetheless, Alvarez is not underestimating his upcoming opponent, Scull. He assured that he always takes his opponents seriously, trains at 100%, and knows that Scull is a skilled fighter with a strong amateur background. Canelo also described the upcoming fight as a tough one against an opponent with a difficult Cuban style. So, the fight ended in a unanimous decision in favor of Canelo. The judges' scorecards read 119 to 109, 116 to 112, and 115 to 113. With this win, Alvarez unified all 4 major belts, WBA Super, WBC, WBO, and IBF, becoming the undisputed champion once again. But despite the win, the fans were far from thrilled. The bout was lackluster and slow-paced. Canelo threw just 152 punches over 12 rounds, the second lowest number ever recorded by CompuBox in a championship fight. Despite having height and reach advantages, Scull fought passively. He avoided exchanges, moved a lot, and rarely countered. Most of the action came from Canelo, who focused on bodywork, landing 40 clean body shots compared to only 6 from Scull. After the fight, Canelo didn't hide his frustration. "I came to fight, not to run." He didn't want to fight, just to run. "I did everything I could, but one man alone can't make a show," Alvarez said. Scull, on the other hand, claimed he executed his game plan and showed respect to his opponent. But criticism from fans and analysts quickly followed. Some pundits accused Scull of being too cautious, and former champion Amir Khan caused a stir by claiming that Scull actually won the fight by 2 rounds, drawing backlash and mockery online. It wasn't interesting to watch the fight when one guy clearly didn't want to win at all, but it was tough for Canelo because he was constantly trying to land shots, while Scull wasn't throwing punches, making him hard to catch. "He was just moving well," said Bivol. What's next? Canelo already announced his next fight, scheduled for September 12th, 2025, in Las Vegas, against Terence Crawford. That bout is already being billed as the super fight of the year, as 2 undisputed champions prepare to clash. Crawford, a master of defense and counterpunching, is expected to pose a far greater challenge and deliver a much more exciting contest. "And maybe you'll see a fight against Bivol this year," Canelo said. How much did they make? Although the fight didn't deliver fireworks in the ring, it was a financial triumph, at least for Canelo. The Mexican signed a 5-fight deal with Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority worth around $400 million. For the bout against Scull alone, he reportedly earned around $80 million, not including pay-per-view cuts, merchandise, or sponsorships. This ranks among the largest payouts in boxing history. William Scull, despite the loss, likely secured the biggest payday of his career. While official numbers weren't disclosed, estimates suggest he earned between $2 million and $5 million. Canelo reclaimed his status as undisputed champion, earned tens of millions, but failed to thrill fans with a memorable performance. Still, all eyes now turn to September's mega fight with Crawford, a bout that could go down in history as one of the greats.